It wasn't a dream. Welcome to the channel if you're new. If you're not, thank you for tuning back in. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button below so you don't miss any future episodes that I do release. You can check out all of the previous videos that have come out on the car by clicking up there somewhere. Before I give you a tour of what we're now looking at over my shoulder, I need to take you back to some footage that I did record around the same time as the last video, but didn't include it. Probably the biggest thing that I've uncovered when working on this car that will need addressing is the fact that I'm not 100% confident that the spider is located on the chassis square and in the correct place according to the Tornado build manual. Let me show you why I think that. So when lowering the car and trimming out the rear arches, it became apparent quite quickly that the driver's side is far tighter to the tyre than on the passenger side. Back of the chassis differs between the driver and passenger side. So that means it's not set square in a forward and back position. If we move up to the front, first things you need to keep note of is this portion here, this dimension here is probably 35mm or so, okay, with an offset of maybe 10-15mm. The outer sill is notched basically in line with the rubber mounting trim that I made. Okay, so keep those in mind as we go round to the passenger side. First thing to note, the gap here is far larger. The offset there to there is far larger. So it means that the whole body is more biased towards the passenger side. That's compounded. The outer sill, not only is it not notched, but there's also a 5mm gap, at least, between the outer sill and the chassis. Passenger side, striker plate. There's a small 4-5mm gap between the striker plate and the body. We go back round to the driver's side. It's so tight against the body, it's actually been notched. So in my mind, the whole body needs to come driver's side wards 5 to 8mm to even things out, and then also move forward and back to get it squared up. So now you are completely up to speed with everything that I'm going to have to deal with and correct. So let me show you the true aftermath. So the main one is obviously the spider's been removed, outer seals have come off, fuel tank's been removed. Any panelling that I wasn't happy with how it looked, whether it be slightly misaligned, extra holes in from me removing miscellaneous items have been removed. The big one is the back panels come off because I touched on in the last video that I wasn't really happy with how that looked. The bottom panel, I've admitted defeat. That's come out because I wasn't happy with how I made good that bottom corner. Passenger side, this inner panelling is going to stay. I can't see anything wrong with that. The top panel and fuel tank again has been removed, and I'm also going to be keeping, I think at this stage, the passenger side rear quarter panel. I've managed to save my closing panel trims that I made, just carefully removing the panelling underneath so I didn't damage those. And obviously the floor is staying because that's new. The fuel tanks, I think I'm going to slightly revise how they're mounted, because I couldn't remove those until I removed this top cover, this top panel cover here. So I think I may use a fuel tank strap system to hold them in place. So should I have to remove the tanks at any time in the future, I can do that by just removing the outer seal cover, which is far easier than destroying a top panel that will be in place up here. I know that in the end, I'm going to be working my way forwards and redoing all of the paneling at the front as well. So in essence, the abortive work will be, other than time, just the sound deadening that I've used on these inner panels, which in the grand scheme of things I can deal with. There's not a huge monetary value that will be lost by me now expanding these plans. I've saved the best I can all of the old panels so I can transfer those over to new templates and try and pick up on all of the existing rivet holes, because I don't want to be welding all of those up and re-drilling those from scratch. So that's how the car stands at the moment. I've got some parts on order, so next episode I hope we can start the rebuild, start doing some paneling out and all sorts of other stuff. So if you don't want to miss that, make sure you hit the subscribe button below, give the video a like, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you tune in for the next instalment of this forever growing